Good morning. I'm Ted Williams, News Director and host of Sonoma County's Talking. So nice to have you along on this weekend morning as we get to know people around Sonoma County that are doing things and organizations that are doing things as well. And so many were affected by the wildfires in October. And now there's a rebuild and a reconstruction and a reopening process for a lot of them. One of those was the Goodwill store on Industrial Drive, and right behind and right next to the Kmart that is now gone. And I've got the CEO for Goodwill Industries, it's Brandy Evans, with us. And Brandy, thanks so much for spending some time with us today on Sonoma County's Talking.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Well, you know, what a tragedy, or I guess it could have been considered what could have been a catastrophe for the fires. Tell me about how the fires went down for that particular location for Goodwill.
Sure. The fires, as you know, came up over Fountain Grove, and while we were not directly hit, it is our understanding that we were impacted through some of the foliage that was burning around our store, which is hard to believe, as you know, with that Kmart being as large as it was, and literally could easily throw a rock from the front of our store to the back of their store. But we did lose the back wall, our north-facing wall, and our west-facing wall, and it took out our office that was in the store as well. So had to obviously clean everything out. So we are in the process of rebuilding. We got quite lucky in the sense that our landlord, Andy Brown, also happens to be a licensed contractor. So that made it a little bit easier, I think, for us than for a lot of folks.
Well, I'll say, yeah, and it really skipped around, and to look down over the top of it and see some of the aerial views of that, where Kmart is, and then right next to it was the motel that was directly to the north of your store. But then the Starbucks and the new construction was fine, and the other motel was fine. But then across the street, the Chevron station and McDonald's and all, that whole area right there at Cleveland Hopper Industrial Drive area took some very strange hits in the whole fire. What was your envision of how the store was going to look when you knew the fire was going on and you weren't allowed to go in and take a look at it?
You know, honestly, I and our entire team suspected when we saw those pictures of Kmart burning that the store was a loss. We really expected that it would have burned to the ground. So when we got to see it and it was standing, we were quite shocked. And it wasn't until we got inside and were able to see that back corner was missing that we actually realized that we had true damage. Amazing.
And that corner, we were talking a few moments ago before we started the conversation here, it was kind of the expensive corner of your building.
It really was. It was our office manager's office, and it had all of our computer equipment, all of our security cameras, all of our internet connections, phone connections, everything. Our safe was sitting in that space. So we lost a pretty expensive corner, but nonetheless, all things considered, we still feel quite blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Goodwill Industries, it's got so many different divisions and branches and stores around the county. Maybe give us a little bit of background about Goodwill Industries and how it fits into Sonoma County.
Certainly. Goodwill is actually a membership organization, so folks experience a different reality here than, say, for example, if you were in Maryland. They get to run their organization as they choose to, and that's the beauty of Goodwill, is as a membership organization, we get to provide services that truly fit our community. So Goodwill Industries of the Redwood Empire covers 6 counties. Sonoma, Napa, Mendocino Lake, Trinity, and Humboldt County is what I'm responsible for. And in that county, we get the opportunity to figure out not only how not to be competitive with another provider who offers a great service, but how we can come in and we can add additional support to the community. So our Goodwill has currently 14 stores, with the industrial store we're speaking about reopening. And then we're looking at our 15th store. That's very exciting. And we also offer 28 unique different program services. What's fascinated me through my career with Goodwill is most people don't really know what Goodwill's about. You ask folks on the street, and of course they say, oh, well, I give you my stuff, and you have stores. And while that's wonderful that we have at least that kind of connection to the community, we have that economic value as well as the environmental component, the real reason for Goodwill is for us to provide training programs. So we do a number of programs. We partner with the County of Sonoma, the State of California Department of Rehabilitation. We have some privately funded programs. And it's really about helping people in our community get, retain, and improve their employment situation. So that's really who we are and what we do, Ted.
It's interesting, and it's very concisely and beautifully put. Thank you for kind of bringing it all together there, because you hear about that Goodwill Industries helping people, to get better lives and to do the training. What kinds of training are we talking about for people, and how do they, get into it and benefit from it?
These days, mostly we're doing a lot of soft skill training. And, I'm not a big fan of negative pushes, so I try and coach my team to let's look to the positive. But the one thing, unfortunately, we all hear about out there in the employment sector is the millennials. And, it really comes down to there's a lot of work that has to be done there. And we're not the first generation to go through it. We won't be the last. But it's really working with individuals, whether they've never had a job, whether they have been a long time out of the employment sector, whether they are a single parent who doesn't know how to deal with the confines of how do I deal with my child's needs and also hold down a job. So the soft skill component is really, really significant right now. Unfortunately, we have a lot of folks who don't understand the value of work, and we help teach them those kinds of skills. In addition to that, Goodwill offers a number of classes and resources around some of what I refer to as sort of the old school ways. How do you create a resume? How do you dress appropriate for an interview? How do you talk about some of the things that are uncomfortable to talk about? We do work with a number of folks who have been formerly incarcerated. How do you have that conversation comfortably and honestly? So those are really the focused kind of skills that we're doing today, because that's what the community needs. That's what the employers need. But in the past, we've also done some hard skill. We're currently working on some ideas about creating some certificate programs that we can open up and allow folks to come in and participate in. Everything from could be janitorial, could be construction related, could be driving a forklift. We've had a number of very successful folks come through referrals from Sonoma County. We do a TANF-funded program. That's a federal-funded program through CalWorks called Sonoma Works. And we've had a number of folks come through that program as referrals that have gone out and received excellent compensation and wonderful jobs around accounting and administration type work. So it really kind of runs the gamut. You can imagine with so many programs that, we get to play in a lot of different areas.
Wow, it's fantastic. If you're just tuning in right now and you're thinking, what is this incredible organization that I just caught halfway through the conversation here? It's about Goodwill Industries and Redwood Empire. Goodwill Industries, which Brandy Evans is the CEO for. And how long have you been a part of it, Brandy?
I actually joined Goodwill in 2004, was here for a short while and left, returned to my original roots, which was real estate development, just in time for the world's economy to take that down.
Great.
And had a wonderful opportunity to return to the organization in 2008 under a new CEO, and that CEO, most people will know, was Mark Eide. And so I spent from 2008 until 2015 working directly for him, started as the CFO, moved my way up to Chief Operating Officer, and finally ascended to that CEO chair at Mark's request. Actually, he wanted to stay in the organization, but he didn't really want to do that level of work anymore. He really had a passion for building the organization financially so that we would have a long history here in our territory.
Mark Eide, a former sheriff for Sonoma County who passed away in 2017, and what a wonderful man. I mean, he had just a vision and a passion for people and for business and seeing it grow. And wow, from where it was through that transition to where Goodwill Industries is now, what a huge difference. Isn't
it, though? Unfortunately, I entered the organization, which was part of the reason for my departure, when we were in a very, very financially difficult time. We were a small organization. We had 6 stores at that time. We were less than $6 million in annual gross revenue. And today we sit at 14, about to open our 15th store. Many more programs I can't even count because they come and go. And we're at about $20 million projected for this year. And that's all him. That was all Mark Eide's vision. And as you said, he really had an amazing talent for people. He was able to create and grow teams. He would be the first to say, I didn't do this on my own. It took a lot of people, but he was the one who had that true vision. And I'm just very lucky to have followed behind him and have that vision to continue to be my guider.
Yeah, same way that he held the top spot with the sheriff's office. It was a team effort and all, good people skills. So let's talk a little bit about the Industrial Drive store. When are you projecting to open the doors again?
We're looking to open the doors at the beginning of March. I'd love to give you a specific date, but we don't have one right now. As I said, we've gotten very lucky with the fact that we were able to find a general contractor to help us move pretty quickly. But with that, there are lots of other opportunities, as you know. We got started and FEMA shut us down. So,
oh, interesting.
You know, we're still going through some of the jumping through the hoops that they require for burned out properties. So we are looking at an early March opening. We will be doing a grand opening. That will be, of course, announced, and we'll do some marketing and advertising around that to make sure that all of our great supporters, donors, and customers know that we're back in the territory and we're ready to do business.
That's great. Goodwill Industries here in the Redwood Empire. And you say that's how many different counties?
6.
6 different counties all around our area here, overseen by your office and by your direction, which is fantastic. Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty here. Somebody turns in a shirt. How does it end up on the hanger?
How does it end up on the hanger? Well, it depends on really where they turn the shirt in. So we'll take the most extreme example. Most people know that we have attended donation sites in the community. Those are the trailers where you find our folks working hard. So if you turn it in there, they will place it into what we refer to as a gaylord or a bin, and that will make its way eventually likely to Yolanda Avenue. That's our main warehouse. It will sit there until someone needs it. So our stores are self-fed. And what that means is that if your donation went directly to a store, now it's going to go more directly to that sales floor. So hits the back room of a Goodwill store, it's hangered, it's tagged, it's taken directly out onto the sales floor and available for purchase. So the quicker we can get it there, the more it helps us deliver our mission because it costs us less.
You know what I like to see when I go into the Goodwill stores, and I'm a frequent customer, by the way, is to come in and see that you have business clothes for people, which is very important because you're talking about rehabilitating people toward bettering their lives and getting better jobs. You have the clothes available for those things readily available. You have homewares, which people can get in there with plates and dishes, everything else that they need. Shoes, sporting goods, things for kids, all different weather situations, different kinds of jackets and all. And then what I love, too, is to see you got a lot of great Halloween stuff that pops out right about the beginning of October.
Yeah, Halloween really is sort of the Goodwill holiday. We don't play in the Christmas market too much, but Halloween is an area that we do put a push into. But I want to circle back on something you brought up because there's always a good chance to do an ask to the community. Professional wear. We always need good professional wear for men. You men like to wear your clothes out.
Yep, we pretty well get one suit and we just wear it until it dies.
You really do. So we don't have near enough of that kind of attire for our men in the community. So if there's anything that you're looking to get rid of in the menswear line, we would love to have it because it definitely supports folks in the community looking for those jobs.
Well, that's a really great thing. So I'm excited. There's a lot of things going on, so we'll look to the beginning parts of March in the next couple of months here to see the Industrial Drive open up. And the new one, the 15th store, where is that going to be?
That's going to be on McDowell in Petaluma. It's in the North McDowell Plaza Shopping Center, right next door to the Rayleighs and Ross. And it will be a unique experience for our Goodwill. We're going to try something a little bit different at that one, but it will be a surprise. So it will also open in March. We're looking at a mid-March opening on that one.
Oh, terrific. You have a lot of things coming up for the beginning here of 2018 as we're pushing into a rebuilding year, and you're rebuilding as well.
Absolutely.
Well, I've got CEO Brandy Evans from Goodwill Industries here in Sonoma County and beyond, kind of the whole area. And really appreciate your time. If people want to get more information about Goodwill Industries, do you have a website?
We do. It is www.GIRE.org, and that's Goodwill Industries Redwood Empire.
Good. You can do a search for that and probably find that pretty easily. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today on Sonoma County's Talking.
Thank you, Ted.